Dick Benjamin. I'm sending a message from my home here, actually in my kitchen. My son is here working on his telephone, making this very small film. I received a call from Bruce Donnelly, letting me know that you were celebrating your 40th anniversary there in Missoula. And that caused me to, I went back and took a look at a book. You can see the book here. That was of our first 25 years in the Abbott Luke Community Church, Abbott Luke Christian Center. And so I kind of refreshed my memory of what happened all those 40 years ago. And so just bear with me if I take kind of a short trip down memory lane, because it involves some of the people that are still there and some are not there anymore. First of all, Steve Valentine had married Kay Malik, and my wife had introduced them, and she always took some of the credit for that very notable matchmaking job she did there. And Steve was the athletic man for our whole Christian school, plus he was an elder, and plus he was also the coach of the basketball team. And Bill Horton, the other man, was running, he was the principal of the school and also of the Bible college we had here. And he and Angie and his family were here. And so, of course, it involved them. And so they made an appointment with me, and they came to my office to make it. And I didn't know what was going on for sure. I might have got some kind of an idea, but anyway, when they walked in the door, I said, before you start talking, the answer is no. Because I was not too happy about losing my coach for the Christian school and an elder in the church, and also Bill Horton, who was the principal of the school and the elder in the church. But in the process of the time, it became very evident that it was the Lord's will for the church team be sent to the church there in Missoula, and so our elders agreed to that, and so they were sent out. But Steve was ordained a pastor on May 22nd, and Bill was ordained a teacher on May 22nd of 1977. Of the original team, it was, of course, Steve and Kay and Bill and Angie and their family, and Bruce Donnelly. But later on, they were joined by Jan Myers, who was a very fine Christian lady. It was my wife and I had more or less adopted her as like a daughter in our family, and she went over to join the team there in Missoula. And now her last name is Field, and she goes to the Court Lane Christian Center, and I'm quite sure she and her husband Larry are there with this 40th anniversary. And another man went down there later on was Jay Dillon, and he had to finish his schooling here first. And so Rick and I have seen Jay Dillon, last couple of years. His business brings him to Anchorage, so we know him even this long time later, and he's still serving the Lord. And he was one of the first people who went down there to help. And some other ones were Keith and Kathy Berquist and Larry Fulton and Alan Gonzarowski. People that were part of the team that came sometimes incrementally, not just at the time the church actually began. I can't remember all of that. But in the process of the time, I was ministering from church to church, and sometimes been on visitations to foreign fields and so on. But I visited that church, and the first time I went there, you had their meeting in Bill Horton's house, just a handful of people there, plus Bill Horton's dog. And then later on, I ministered there on the Higgins Street Church, and then I also ministered there what used to be like an automobile place there. I wrote down there 140 South 4th West. I don't know how it all adds up, but I've been there for all those places. But in my mind today, as I'm talking, my most serious visit there was when Wendell Smith was there and many other people. He spoke the funeral message for wonderful brothers Steve Valentine, and I was there, and I know that was a time of great grief, and I kind of understand. I've known it before, but I know it more experientially because my wife died a year and 9 months ago, and so it left the church without a pastor there, and Kay without a husband. And so I want to say to Kay that I have mentioned your name in prayer before God again and again and again, and I just trust that God's blessing is still upon you, even though you suffered this great loss. And then concerning my own testimony, I ministered mobile, traveling from place to place for 25 years. But in 1999, both my wife and I felt that our time on the road was over. And so now I've been here at Abbott Loop for some 19 years. I'm 92 years of age, and I mentioned already my wife died on October 4th of 2015. And I just want to finish my race and going at full speed if possible, keep the faith and fight a good fight. And so I would like to be there with you, but pretty much impossible. I do very little traveling these days. I know that you have a new pastor that I don't know, named Joshua Yakos, and my heart's with him too. It's hard sometimes to know what's going on when the successors become the pastors, like at Peters Creek or down Fort Walton Beach or even elsewhere. But Josh, I'm praying for you that you'll do well there in that church in Missoula, the Clark Fork City Church. And so congratulations to all of you there. May you have a great time in your 40th anniversary celebration. God bless.